Have you ever ridden a roller coaster, get off of it, and then realize you have a pounding headache that you didn't have prior to riding? Well, that was basically my experience with Thunderhawk at Michigan's Adventure, which has easily fallen into the category of worst coasters I have ever ridden. Thunderhawk is a ride model infamous for its rough, uncomfortable, and downright atrocious ride experience. And before my recent trip to Michigan's Adventure, I had never experienced one of these coasters, and I kind of wish it stayed that way. As stated before, Thunderhawk is located at Michigan's Adventure, was built by Vekoma, and is a suspended looping coaster. It opened in 2008 as a relocated roller coaster from Geauga Lake, has a height of 109 feet, goes 50 miles per hour, has 5 inversions, is 2,260 feet long, and has a duration of 1 minute and 36 seconds. If you know me, you know that I have motion sickness, and believe me, during my entire day at Michigan's Adventure, I was dreading riding this coaster, as I had already been somewhat sick beforehand, and I thought that the ride would amplify my sickness. So when I eventually rode it, I was expecting the worst, and believe me, I did get a very awful ride experience. However, I actually didn't get sick from the ride itself. However, I did walk away from it with a pretty decently sized headache. But with everything else at Michigan's Adventure, I either wanted to get a front or back row ride on each coaster, but for this ride, I really didn't care about what row I was riding in. So I got row 7, and man, what an experience. I didn't find the restraints to be that horrible on my thighs, and they were also very open on the sides, which allowed for a freeing feeling on my lower body, which was definitely a pleasant surprise. However, where these restraints got bad for me was the upper body and head region. It seems like the lack of restraint on my thighs were made up for by my head, as these restraints can be very bulky. Plus, adding the rough nature of the track itself led to so much headbanging. This leads me to the actual track and profiling of this horrible monster. Vekoma SLCs are known for their janky and awkward transitions, while also being very rough. And prior to riding, I didn't even know the speed of the ride, but as I was researching the coaster for my credit logging, I realized that this coaster isn't really that fast, but the pacing and rough nature of this ride honestly made it seem so much faster than it really was, which may seem like a good thing, but for me, that just added to the absolute beating that I was enduring while riding. But I do have to give Vekoma credit, as if it weren't for the fact that these rides are everywhere and that it's a horrible experience, these layouts would actually be so much fun. Take Great Nor'easter at Morey's Piers as an example. It got new track and trains, and everyone that has ridden it says that it's an amazing ride, despite the fact that it's still an SLC. I firmly believe that this ride, along with every other SLC, has potential, but knowing that this one specifically is located at Michigan's Adventure, it probably won't get any new updates to its track or trains. Heck, it was lucky enough to get a fresh repaint a couple of years ago. But overall, this is a roller coaster that I do not recommend except for getting the credit. It has found its way into my number 90 spot in my overall rankings. So yes, I truly believe that it is that bad. I'm gonna have to give this ride a 0.5 out of 10, with that 0.5 being the slight openness around my waist and potential for its layout. But everything else about this ride sucks. Have you ridden Thunderhawk or any other SLC? Comment down below your experience. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.